The Wexford Hurling Championship this weekend. So it's going to be St Anne's against St Martin's. But just to look at the semi-finals that happened, St Anne's beat Rapparees 214-14, and St Martin's beat Ferns and St Anne 216-115. So the beauty coming into the final is that St Anne's had lost to St Martin's in a group game by as many as 32 points.
That's mad.
22 to 14 points. So I was on to Barry Cleary, who does a lot of great stats work, and he was saying St Anne's like making the final after winning only one of their 5 group games, and they would have been in relegation had Martins, they're now playing the final, if they hadn't lost to Fethard in their last group game, which was Fethard's first ever win in senior. Jesus. So Anne scraped into 4th spot. And as I said, they absolutely hammered Anne's. Martins hammered Anne's in that game.
Now, the caveat, and Dermot O'Keeffe were both missing, I think,
But
are they able to make that swing? 8-22 to 4 points to the 2 boys making up the difference?
Well, it obviously would fundamentally change everything they do. But they've beaten Chamaliers and Rapparees, which is a bit of a shock. And I mean, Rapparees have beaten them 5-17 to 2-14 in their last group game. So that's some turnaround. And
it's interesting because Dermot O'Keeffe was saying to us earlier on there, he's actually on career break this year. He works in Dunboyne, secondary teacher, and he's planning on going away. And he mightn't be going away for another bit,
Yeah, well, a lot of GA players would do that, tip away in the autumn time, and then the club run goes. You obviously want to win with the club, and even a lot of the time you hear about this, there are relationship scenarios where a guy and a girl they're going out and they're waiting for that club season to end before they can head off on the travels, and it's causing consternation.
Like imagine that. You want a fairly willing partner, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Fairness.
There was jockey Mikey Fogarty. He's playing for St Anne's. Now you'd be a big horse racing man, but he guided Don Poley to victory in the 2014 Martin Pipe Conditional Jockey's Handicap.
Cheltenham, he's over 140 winners, and he packed it in 2 years ago, and he was basically working with his brother Johnny, who was also playing on the team. They're working in Gainestown Stud together, and they have a few brood mares and be doing a bit of breeding and things like that. And he was kind of happy with packing it up with the racing, but he his first ride back in 2 years was at Galway. I don't know, was it last? It could have been last Monday. It was actually. He had a couple of rides. He didn't have any winners or anything like that. So he's gone back to the racing, but he's keeping his hand and keeping his eye in at the hurling as well. It's outstanding stuff, really. The only thing I will say is as teak tough athletes go, jockeys, they don't get much harder than jockeys. So he'd be well used to the falls and the belts and stuff like that. It's fair going though.
Could be done for overuse to the hurling.
It could be actually,
Red Barry, everyone would remember Red Barry from that Wexford football team that got to the All-Ireland semi-final 11 years ago. He's on that team as well. So was this a quote that you had from?
Oh yeah, just that he was back working with his brother, and that's why one of the reasons that he stepped out of
Mikey now.
Yeah, Mikey. One of the reasons he stepped out of race riding was so that he could get back hurling, because he seems to have a massive love for St Anne. So it's great to see him back. Great to see him back, and he's doing both of them at the same time now.
Yeah, and in the other semi-final, Rory O'Connor, who's one of Wexford's best players and probably will be for a decade to come, he got a straight red card, and I saw it. Joe Coleman got a couple of lovely scores. I think there was a sideline in there that was doing the rounds on the internet, and Wexford GA scores tweeted that he was very good. You wouldn't hurt him with a hammer. Who will St Anne's have to mark him? Ferns couldn't handle the physicality of him. So they do have a brilliant team. Jack O'Connor and Rory O'Connor being out. I mean, if you're taking Liam Óg McGovern and Dee O'Keeffe and throwing them back into the team, and you're taking Rory O'Connor, the best player of the other team, all of a sudden do we have a maybe not 50-50 game, but it's not the sort of obvious sort of procession.
Definitely, and I always think you're always been better going into a game like that as being the one with the chip on your shoulder, the one that took the beating. You have everything to prove, and whereas complacency could set in the other side.
You were